Hey guys, welcome back to another LEGO train Mocs video. So today we have 4 locomotives we will be going over. Tank engine 460, 262, and 4104. First train Mocs video in a while. But first we have this tank engine. This thing is a little chunky at 10 studs wide, with the very small drive wheels, and working lights and powered. Yeah. You press these buttons, and then it's got, I think, the 10 light modes. We're gonna go to 5. Runs, curves, and switches fine. Yeah. It's about the top speed. Switches time. And that's it basically for the tank engine, not much there. Next up is one of my favorites, 460, 1737. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this lasted into the era of Big Boy. It's got a boiler on the front that's as wide as the switchers, the 060s. For the first tender, we got the coal and this thing that goes down here, and I'm assuming a toolbox where the water goes, reverse lamp. Simple, very simple build. There's also only 1 foot of this thing existing in real life as far as I know. Then we have some details along the side under the boiler as well. It goes from slightly smaller to slightly larger. Front, which I had to redo at one point, like a gauge valve thingy. Yeah, some detail in the cab with a dude in there. I really like the overall look of this one. Runs fine. Pretty well, actually. Took a minute to actually get that to designed right. I forgot if it runs switches or not. But this is also a, yeah, it does, a video that has been long overdue. Just ignore the washer in the background. Onto the next train. Next we have ATSF 1010 in a AFT scheme for this year / the era that my LEGO Railroad is set in. We have the tender with paper, you can see there. Coal, I had to swap out some parts to swap on the big boy with. Toolboxes. It's another simple tender build, really. And then we have the very tall one. This one with the large drive wheels. Those details on the side. ATSF lettering. Front, I'm not sure why I did the pistons in white, but I guess it's really the only color that I had enough of. Then this side here with the number on the front. Some sort of cab detail in there if you can see behind this dude. Not a whole lot of cab detail though. Yeah, the doesn't run the smoothest, but I don't plan on using this one much. I forgot if it does run switches. Seems to. Sort of. I guess on to the last one, the largest and by far my most favorite. We have Union Pacific's unbuilt 4104 steam locomotive. With the tender is just a standard Vanderbilt tender with some coal detail in there toolbox, these water things, reverse lamp, and that rounded tank, and some detail under there. First versions of this probably would have had 2-axle trucks like these, with the later versions probably having 3-axle trucks to better support the weight of the tender. And we also had that toolbox there. Pretty good design. I think decently heavy, and we've got that coal thing there. Then the 410-4 itself, which is in a pristine looking condition, basically. We have 2 dudes in the cab. We have some detail and a rope whistle, or chain in this case. You can kind of see in there, but it's an all-weather cab with these doors on either side. 8850 is what the class number starts with for this one. It's very similar in construction to the FEF series. This one is just called the FTF series for 410-4 instead of 484. Steam dome, sand dome, 5-chime whistle. I'm experimenting with the funnel. I'm gonna have it as a different one later on. We've got the under cab details. Still same thing with the Big Boy and Challenger and FEF thing right there, with that slanted thing. Trailing wheels, firebox. I don't know why I'm blanking out on the name of these. Air compressors. Some valve gear detail. Actually, the most complex valve gear, I think, that I've done so far. And then it's a 3-cylinder locomotive, just like the 412-2s and the 410-2s that Union Pacific had. This would be their next step, calling this a Lincoln type, with and the specifications and stuff here. I have to find it. Where is it? I have no idea where it is. But I'm assuming there'll be 15 of these, the first batch being 10 of them, and the last one being 5. Built from about 1925 through 1936, being inspired and being the inspiration for Challenger's FEF locomotives, and eventually probably the Big Boy. And this thing has young valve gear, and the top speed would be about 45 to 70 miles an hour with these 10 drivers. And the 2 nicknames for this would be Lincolns, like the president, and flat-faced somethings, probably flat-faced 4s or flat-faced 10s, because the front with all this stuff here does, and a solid pilot, does kind of look flat from certain angles. You can see there's more air compressors and stuff with that 3rd cylinder. And then of course you have the builder's plate. And this thing is the same width as 4010's smoke box, but it just goes all the way to width with the rest of the boiler. And this thing does have different fronts. But also first, here's a look at the other side. We have some valves over here, and more piping and stuff. A little bit different on this side. And if these were built, they would look just like this, with the white wall tires on the wheels. And Union Pacific said right here with Union Pacific's logo right here and the actual number of the locomotive here. And now I'll test the curve abilities. I do have a weighted brick inside of the smoke box to level out the weight because these are the flangeless drivers, so they overhang the track. Does have a very nice looking valve gear, like 5511. Surprisingly runs smooth on straight track, really smooth. Barely fits in the switches. Does have a lot of resemblance to the FEF class. And you can see that this front looks like this at the moment, but it does have a couple of other appearances. For example, being built with that on the front, a giant shield with the number of the locomotive, with still enough room for the pilot to swing out. And then the second attachment for this year and the 51 Declaration of Independence celebration video that I'll do soon. It has a Captain America shield that I think might be off center, but the point of the star is supposed to line directly upwards. But the light itself has a simple build, using that large round glass clear piece. But I think having this or this as like the widened Union Pacific logo looks good on this one. And just one more look at the valve gear. Very good to look at. May or may not do a tutorial on this. It all depends, maybe on the valve gear, but this is quite complex to do. But I guess that is basically it for this video. See y'all in the next one. Bye.